Welcome back to my channel. I'm Lux, and today I'm starting Lux After Dark. And I wanted to talk about two things today. One of which was I went on a date recently. And maybe for a lot of people that's not a big thing, but for me, I haven't done that in a while. And I was really proud of myself for a number of things, but I was really proud to see that I have changed a lot. I didn't feel a sense of anxiety around going and meeting someone, like especially in that context, right? That can often produce a lot of anxiety. I think there was a momentary anxiety, like right before I left, because I had to walk into town and go meet at this bar. But I remember thinking just like, no, this is not how I'm approaching dating. Because what I want is to connect from a place of authenticity and groundedness, showing up without an agenda, and just enjoying the actual process, right? And so I kind of let any fear go that had momentarily popped up. I was walking into town, and it started raining, and so I could hear the rain falling on the umbrella that I was holding. And I was looking up through the trees to the night sky. And I just had a moment where I almost stopped as I was walking, but I just sort of had this gratitude just pour up through my heart. Gratitude for myself, for showing up to that moment, for opening up myself to connection, however I want to do that now, like especially as I'm nomadic and traveling, right? Opening myself up to just having some fun in that realm that I haven't let myself. I had all these reasons why I couldn't date. Then I realized, like, no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to have every single thing figured out in its entirety. Like, what if I just was honest about who I am right now and what I'm doing and what I'm looking for, which is just to make some fun connections. There was just this element of showing up with myself, showing up with authenticity, but also not having to be anything more than what I am. And that this right now is enough, and that people resonate with that. And it seems like they are, actually. And similar to another experience I had over the summer where I went and I shared some of my writing which is not a lot, I don't have a ton of writing. I shared a couple things that I had written at this open mic night, and I was really afraid about that. Significantly more afraid about public speaking than I was about going on a date. And I remember in that experience, I had told myself, I want to experience everything, including the fear. I want to really be present, not pull away from the experience to get through it and just to say afterwards, I'll never do that again. No, I wanted to experience it fully, even if I was afraid. And I think that was a really good exercise because I don't know if that's how I was approaching this date, because I wasn't really building it up in my mind or anything. And that was huge because I used to do that so much. I will say, I think maybe the first evening, like once I had been chatting with this person and they asked me to go on a date, that I think I had some of that come up. I was like, oh, this is exciting. I haven't done this in a while. Like, oh, And then I remember just the next morning, next day, I was just like, yeah, okay. And back to life, and then it was multiple days out and it didn't distract me at all. And that was just so cool to see, because I used to be a person who would be caught in limerence, like it's an intense form of fantasizing. And really getting in my mind about, oh, who is this person and what could the future be or whatever. And I just wasn't in that frame at all. I was like, cool, there's a date and I've opened myself up to making these connections, and now I want to focus on my projects and I have other things I want to do, and I want to work out, and I want to all this other stuff, living in life. And it was just very, very cool to see that change within myself. And I love that I've seen this a lot in this last year, where I'll show up to something and it's not that I'm forcing a change from my conscious mind, but I see that I react differently. And that's really so powerful. All these times where I've been doing that, like self-discovery, self-growth is paying off. It means I actually don't react the way I used to. It means I actually don't show up in an energy I don't want to be in anymore, because I've chosen not to be that anymore. And I think there is something to say about making a choice and a decision, you know? Like, yes, we can do all these processes and these things to try to sort of like help ourselves grow. And sometimes it's like getting to a point where we just decide, hey, I'm not showing up like that. And not that that will make fear go away. Like if you're afraid of something like public speaking, you just say, well, I'm just not going to be afraid. It's not so much that. I've just done a lot with allowing myself to prioritize myself in my life, so that I don't just automatically insert someone else who seems that they're throwing attention my way as the priority, right? So like I've done a lot of work around that. But like with fear, when I went and did that exercise of public speaking over the summer, the decision was that I was going to do it, even if I was afraid. So sometimes with fear, it can just be like, I'm making a decision, I'm going to do this because I want to see myself do this, and I want to see myself be capable of doing this, regardless of whether I'm afraid. So yeah, so it was really cool to see, you know, to experience that, to realize that I wasn't, you know, blowing anything up in my mind, and that's just huge for me. And then I will say, I don't want to necessarily go the complete opposite, because I will say with like some of the conversations I'm having, I sometimes find myself almost getting like annoyed. I guess I don't like endless texting conversations. I think maybe that's just me. I'm like, let's schedule a time. If that's set, then I'll see you then. I don't know. I spend a lot of time not talking to people. So to get into a habit of just like be consistently texting, I don't know. I was like that when I was in codependent relationships. I text a lot with like especially one of my previous people, but I don't know. Like these days I'm just like, I'm about my business. But I think this is like part of that evolution for me, like to have this time where I'm actually focusing on the things I want to focus on, because I really wanted that for when I went back into dating. I wanted that to just be like a part of what I'm doing, you know, that my life is like all the things I'm about. And that sure, I want to date, and sure, I want to see what happens and what connections I can make, but like that's not the thing I'm like hanging everything on. Like I want a full life. Speaking of which, the second thing that I want to share, if you want to know, is that I was really having this realization about what makes me excited about being alive. You know, because I was having this time where I was getting kind of bored. And I was like, man, what? And it made me really think, because I tend to, if I get too bored, I go into a bit of an existential crisis. Like, what even is this all about? Like, apparently I cannot tolerate that for too long. Or it was also this like aspect of wanting to do things and feeling like I couldn't, you know, like I saw this class I wanted to take and I was like, man, but it's kind of a lot of money, you know. So like there's these elements where I was noticing this like urge toward experience, toward life, and then feeling like a block, and then feeling bored with, and then it kind of made me look at things from a place of feeling bored. I don't know, it's a whole story. But anyways, it made me think about life again, right? Like I always go back to that, like what even is, like why, like what makes me excited about being here, you know? And I'm not questioning wanting to be here. I want to be here. Right? Like what I am doing is exploring what I really, really want. And I started thinking about it because I realized for me, I want a vast breadth of experience. I see people who, you know, spend the 10,000 hours and learn the one skill to like expert level. and then that's like their thing, right? Or I recently watched the Olympics and saw some of the ice skaters and was thinking about how like that's their life, and hopefully they have more than just that. But like for someone who becomes super well known about one thing, they've made it their entire life. And I think for some people that really works really well. And there's a part of me that's like, but I want to experience so much. There's so much I want to see. There's so much I want to do. And sometimes, and I don't even necessarily have to be good at the thing. I just want to try it. I want to try a lot of things. I'm refraining from saying all the things. I don't want to try all the things. There are some things I don't want to try. I don't want to climb Mount Everest. I've seen some of the, I've heard some things about how many people die and you're passing like frozen people. Like, no, thank you. Like, there's some things I don't want to do, but there's a lot of things I want to do, and I want that freedom to try just whatever comes to me that I want to try. And I think that was helpful to just reflect on today, where I was pondering this contrast between the person who goes super deep on one or maybe a few things and the person that just like really wants to explore a vast amount of things. Maybe I'm okay with being the person that wants to explore a vast amount of things. And also, I'm sure there will be probably some things that I want to go deeper on, but I like the idea of being someone who tries a lot of things, tries all the things. I used to have this dream that I could host a show where I could just go try all the things, right? I get paid to try them and I get to show people the joy of trying things. And I know there's actually, I think there was a YouTube channel called The Try Guys. And I'm like, I want to join The Try Guys. Or there was another one called The Yes Theory. There's all these like groups of young men who get together and make channels. I'm just here by myself. And I still want to try all the things. Who knows? Maybe this will be part of my channel. I'll try a bunch of things. But it was interesting because I was also thinking about how sometimes it feels like the things I want to try are hidden behind a paywall in this capitalistic like landscape that we all live in. Like, for example, I saw this class on like massage techniques and I was like, hell yeah, I want to learn. I was like, okay, it's a number of 100 pounds. Well, so I was thinking about that and it was frustrating, right? I'm like, I want to try all the things, but it costs money. Like a lot of it costs money. And then I realized, yeah, and like, what is out in your backyard? Like, go, like, what if I actually did something like playful or something interesting every day? And so I started doing that even today. I went out to the backyard and I found, some leaves and a flower and I put it, and I tried to make like a pressed art, or I don't know how you describe it. I tried to smash it into paper and make some art. It kind of worked and it kind of didn't, because the leaves I picked up were not transferable, at least in the method I was using, which was just like trying to smash it in there. The flower did though, so it was kind of cool. And it was nice to just kind of walk around the backyard and think about and look for what is interesting to me. So I think I need that sense of stimuli. Like, I need something interesting. I need some variety. I need something that's different from what I just normally do. And I had fallen into a few days of thinking about what wasn't available, that I really needed to just go and see what that there was right in front of me, right outside. I went out and I touched grass. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a practice I want to explore more of. And I feel like I can get stuck on what's seemingly unavailable, at least in this moment. I want instant gratification, I want instant access to all the things, that I lose sight of what I have access to right now. Like the beauty of what's available to me right now. Like, I could go to the library. There's tons of books of things. I can walk around. I can see new things. I can go to a different part of town. There's like all these things. And I feel like that's a powerful practice to engage in. When we're feeling stuck in any way, to look for how an element of that thing that we're looking for is right in front of our face right now. So I'm practicing that. Yay. And yeah, so I had thoughts of sharing today. Maybe we'll have even juicier Lux After Dark videos in the future. And yeah, I'll see you again very soon.